In the very beginning, before sorrow, before shame, before a single tear had ever been shed, there was a garden. Not just any garden, Eden. A place so alive that every leaf seemed to hum with the breath of God himself. In this garden, God placed the very first man, Adam, shaped from the dust of the earth and brought to life by God's own breath. And because God didn't want him to be alone, he created Eve, formed from Adam's side. Together they walked with God in the cool of the day. But God gave them one rule, just one. In the middle of the garden stood a tree, the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. You may eat from any tree, God told them, but not from this one. For the day you eat from it, you will surely die. Then came the serpent. Cunning, clever, cold-eyed. He slithered up to Eve with a question that's been echoing through human history ever since. Did God really say? He twisted God's words. He planted doubt. "You won't die," he whispered. "God just doesn't want you to be like him." And Eve looked at the fruit. It was beautiful. It promised wisdom. And in that moment, the rule began to feel less like protection and more like a prison. She took the fruit. She ate. And she handed it to Adam, who was standing right there with her. And he ate too. Instantly, something broke. Their eyes were opened, but not the way the serpent promised. They felt exposed, ashamed. They grabbed fig leaves to cover themselves and ran into the trees to hide, from each other and from God. Then they heard it, the sound of God walking in the garden. And he called out gently, "Where are you?" Not because he didn't know, but because they needed to know how far they had fallen. Adam blamed Eve. Eve blamed the serpent. Nobody owned it. And just like that, the fingerprints of broken humanity were pressed into the soil of Eden. There were consequences. Pain, hard work. A world that would now resist them. And they were sent out of Eden, the gates closing behind them. But God didn't abandon them. He made them clothes with his own hands. And he whispered a promise that one day someone would come who would crush the serpent's head and make all things new. The story of the fall isn't just about a piece of fruit. It's about a God who comes looking, who calls our name, and who, even at our worst moment, reminds us the story isn't over.